Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode. Brian H. Waters Thoughts, live from the Wrestling Realm Studios. Tonight, I'm going to discuss some moments that could have changed WrestleMania. As you know, we're in the midst of WrestleMania week. We got WrestleMania 33 coming to you this Sunday, live in Orlando, Florida. And I mean, if you're a wrestler fan, that's all you talking about this week, aren't you? I know that's all I'm talking about. But, there's been some great WrestleMania moments. There's been moments that we'll never forget. There's Hogan body slamming Andre. There's the WrestleMania. There's Shawn Michaels kicking Ric Flair to end his career. There's Undertaker tombstoning Shawn Michaels to end his career just 2 years later. But there's also been some bad moments at WrestleMania. Some moments that have you scratching your head and it make you say, well, what if this changed? Maybe we look at that WrestleMania differently. Maybe we take a look and say, you know what? Had this happened, then this would have happened. And then it would have been a whole different ball game. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about these moments, and I encourage each and every one of you to tweet me at Brian H. Waters, tweet me at Wrestling Realm. Let me know, what do you think about these moments, folks? So, if you don't mind, let's get right into it. WrestleMania 19. Spoiler alert, there's going to be two moments that came from this WrestleMania. The first one, people don't really talk about as much. They do, but they don't. But it's one that I think, had this not happened, or had it happened, you should already know where I'm going with this. We're looking at this match completely different. We're even looking at this WrestleMania completely different. Now, I'm going to just say this. This WrestleMania is probably one of the more stacked ones, and the one that had, in my opinion, 5 potential main events. Yes, 5 potential main events, and those main events were Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Triple H, Booker T, World Heavyweight Championship, Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan, revenge after the steroid trial, Austin Rock Act 3, Hollywood Rock. Remember, The Rock said, they said, Act 1, Act 2, don't matter. It always Act 3. And then the main event, which deserved to close the show, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Now, this is Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania debut, and he wins the the WWE Championship. But the moment in this match that I don't think a lot of people really discuss, if Brock Lesnar hits the shooting star press, we are completely looking at this WrestleMania different. We are saying that this is one of the greatest WrestleManias ever. I will argue that. Well, this and the other thing, which we'll get to later. But I really believe if Brock Lesnar hits that shooting star press, we are calling this one of the greatest WrestleMania matches. We are rivaling it with Savage Steamboat. We are rivaling it with Taker Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25. Why? Because it was a moment. It would have been clearly the moment that we would have seen on all the DVDs. Instead of then the Do Not Try This at Home, we would have seen it as, it would have been as iconic as Hogan body slamming Andre, as iconic as Jeff Hardy hitting the Swanton Bomb onto the floor, as iconic as Austin ducking the super kick and hitting the Stone Cold Stunner on Shawn Michaels, and you would have had Brock Lesnar hitting the shooting star press on Kurt Angle to win the WWE Championship. Now, they've said on all the DVDs, Lesnar has hit this move before. Lesnar has been able to execute this move. It's just that they wanted to save it. And it makes sense. Save it WrestleMania. Save Cold Field. The biggest event to occur at Safeco Field in 2003. Let's not forget the Mariners had just started playing there in 2000. So it made total sense. But unfortunately, he missed the move and it became a poster for do not try this at home. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my number 5 moment that could have changed WrestleMania. Now, moving on, number 4, The Rock winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 2000. It was set up. Let's be real. Let's just go back to 2000. And so we're gonna sit there in 2000. It was fresh off the Royal Rumble where The Rock and Big Show had a controversial finish where The Rock was indeed declared the winner, but he had to go to No Way Out, and because of Shane McMahon, he lost, which set up a Big Show Triple H match at WrestleMania that nobody was going to want to see. Doesn't that remind you of Batista versus Randy Orton? Except they knew that nobody wanted to see this one, unlike the other one. But then we was going to have The Rock had to earn his way into the match, which he did, and then Foley earned his way into the match. So it just became a night where there was only one singles match, where you're in the middle, dead square in the middle of the Attitude Era. WWE has finally overtaken WCW by time of WrestleMania, because at 15, WCW was still kind of ahead in the ratings, back and forth. WWE was coming, but they hadn't fully solidified. Um, so now WWE is clearly the big dog. They're clearly running away with this, but they just did too much at WrestleMania 2000. So first of all, you can even say The Rock should have. This match should have been. I've read about this before. This match should have been The Rock versus Triple H 1-on-1 for the WWE Championship. Instead, we get a triple fatal 4-way match with a McMahon in every corner. For those, let me remind you, we had Shane McMahon in the corner of Big Show, Linda McMahon in the corner of Mick Foley, Stephanie McMahon in the corner of Triple H, and Vince McMahon in the corner of The Rock. And what do we get? The oh so mighty WrestleMania double cross. And The Rock would lose the WWE title. And when it came down to the fatal 4-way elimination, it was The Rock versus Triple H. In the end, Triple H goes over as the victor. And now this WrestleMania is just a letdown. Even though The Rock walked out, had the fans cheering because he rock bottomed Stephanie and Vince. Big deal. It was still a letdown. The Rock should have been the one to win. The Rock should have left I believe it was, Anaheim. I can't even remember, but he should have left California as the WWE champion, not wait until Backlash. So that was the biggest a huge letdown in WrestleMania history with The Rock not winning the WWE championship. Now, my number 3 letdown at WrestleMania. Now, people they're going to have a lot to say about this one. Which is, I say, WrestleMania 17. This is known as the greatest WrestleMania by the experts. They called this the greatest WrestleMania from the way it was booked. Opening the show with Chris Jericho versus William Regal, to Vince versus Shane right after the purchase of WCW. We had Chyna win the Women's Championship this night. We had so much, but in this main event, it was a match that had perhaps the greatest hype video with Limp Bizkit singing My Way. People are still blasting that song. When you hear this song, the first thing you think of is WrestleMania 17's main event, where you got Stone Cold Steve Austin challenging The Rock for the WWE Championship. Wow, right in Houston, Texas. And what a match these two, the second year out of 2 out of 3 years, closing the show, and they put on a 5-star match. But in the end, Stone Cold Steve Austin will get help, and he would beat down The Rock with a chair, and he will win. But the help came from none other than his arch rival, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And that would begin where Austin and McMahon were now on the same team, which the next night Triple H would join and it created the two-man power trip. And to me and anybody else, they will say this was a bad time in wrestling. I remember this my freshman year, and a lot of people were turned off. This, they started making fun of me because I kept liking it. So what? All of them can two words for it. But why? Why? So how do you change this WrestleMania? After Austin wins the title, boom, should have hit Vince with a chair, hit him with a Stone Cold Stunner. The crowd was loving him. There's rumors that Stone Cold felt that the character was getting boring and he needed a heel turn, and that's the reason why. But if you look at this was the beginning of where Stone Cold Steve Austin started to look as a joke, because there's a reason. People might not admit, but there's a reason that next year's WrestleMania it was Austin versus Scott Hall and Hogan versus The Rock. They could make all the rumors up and they could say that Hogan and Austin couldn't do business together. No. The bottom line is The Rock was the bigger star. Did he go away to Hollywood? Yes. And he wasn't doing as much full time. I mean, he had a championship match or two. He had a couple of championship runs. I mean, he was the world champion the night, at the end of 2001 when Chris Jericho beat him in Austin in the same night. He was the man leading the way when it came to the WWE versus WCW, or the Alliance, I should say, as Survivor Series. But I mean, Stone Cold, he was singing, he was playing a guitar, he was with Vince McMahon and Kurt Angle, and they were going back and forth. No, that's not the Stone Cold. Vince McMahon had to say, "I need the old Stone Cold back." So this right here, this is where it happened. Right here, WrestleMania 17 is the beginning of the Austin joke era. That's what I'm saying. I said it. I know people don't like it, but Austin shouldn't have changed hands. He should have been with. He should have. He should have stunned Vince McMahon, and we would be looking at WrestleMania 17 even in a different way, because it was the beginning of the downfall and a down period. The first time WWE would see a down period since 1997. Whew, yeah, I'm still mad. But let's move on. Number two, moment that could have changed WrestleMania, the way we look at this WrestleMania, and that is WrestleMania 8. Now, you should already know which match I'm talking about, which should have been the main event. No disrespect to the first main event on a double main event night. No disrespect to the Macho Man Randy Savage, but everybody knows that night in the Hoosier Dome in 1992, the main event should have been Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. It would have been a perfect night to put the belt back on Hogan. You didn't have to keep it on him long. But then there was talks that what happened, the two wrestled in Madison Square Garden. They didn't get the response that they wanted. Guess what? Who saw the match? Only those who were there live. We didn't see it. This wasn't like back in today where it was, if it hits the internet. This was 1992. Down there 20 years prior to, almost 20 years prior to the IWC. Well, yeah, it just was, no, it was just a bad idea. You could have kept it. You should have had Flair versus Hogan, not wait till they get the WCW. They couldn't put on the type of promotion, the type of production that WWE would have had. The first time that Vince McMahon really let something slip out of his hands. I don't know if they thought they could have got it later or what. This was a night. It should have been Hogan versus Flair, and I know people going to tweet me, nah, they did the right thing. Did Savage and Flair deliver? Absolutely. I mean, it's the Macho Man Randy Savage we're talking about. But I'm sorry, Savage should have been wrestling Shawn Michaels that night and Flair should have been wrestling Hulk Hogan. And you know, maybe say he should have been wrestling Shawn Michaels. Maybe that's too far because Shawn Michaels wasn't what he was or would have become 2 years later. But nah, simply Flair Hogan should have been a main event, not Sid. How about this? Sid Vicious. Do you realize that he's the only person to wrestle in 2 WrestleManias and both of them being a main event? How about that? He's 0 for 2, but if he wrestles now, it's not going to be good because he's not going to be in a main event. It's a smart man right there. And now, my final moment that could have improved this WrestleMania, that could have changed this WrestleMania, I guarantee you, many people would be calling this WrestleMania the greatest of all time if this match would have had a different result. That is WrestleMania 19. You should know where I'm going with this, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Booker T versus Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. I guarantee you, with the build, if Booker T wins, we're looking at the WWE in a different light. We're looking at this WrestleMania in a different light. This would have been a WrestleMania that they would have made platinum editions for on DVD. This was a night that belonged to Booker T. This was a night that Booker T should have won. When he had the stuff, the promos that he had to endure, turned a lot of people off. It turned a lot of people off. When he said, when Triple H said, people like you do things and carry people like me, you know, my bags and stuff. I mean, they blurred the lines. And look, it's no secret. If you look at if you watch it, click the profiles, click some older videos, you'll see I'm a proud black man. There's no doubt about it that for that time, oh, most of my people, we didn't like Triple H. I mean, he was such a good heel. He's so good at what he does. I mean, the guy studied Harley Race, who, probably was really racist. But he studied those guys. So Triple H is absolutely one of the best to ever do it. But on this night, Booker T should have been champion. Instead, he lost, and you could feel the air sucked out. It's almost like I remember the announcers just pulling, begging, pleading Booker to win this match. This was a night that belonged to Booker T, but you could feel the air sucked out of Safeco Field when he lost, only for the next month to be in a 6-man tag match. And, garbage. Just garbage. Um, did Booker T become World Heavyweight Champion? Yeah, later as King Booker. But no, we wanted to see in 2003 WrestleMania 19 at Safeco Field. We wanted to see Booker T become your new World Heavyweight Champion. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are moments that I believe that if they were just some switches in these places, we would have looked at these WrestleManias different. I mean, obviously, all the WrestleManias I named, with maybe the exception of 2000, we looked at, probably put up there higher somewhere, but, eh, these just could have changed these WrestleManias. It's just that simple. Like, Booker T winning, Hogan and Flair's the main event, Austin staying a babyface, Rock winning the title, Lesnar hitting the shooting star press. Obviously, we can't go back in history, but this stuff is fun to talk about. But, that's going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tweet me at Brian H. Waters. Follow at Wrestling Wrealm. Yes, I will be live in Orlando, Florida. Come out, meet me, shake my hand. Looking forward to talking to all of you, making sure we can have a good wrestling conversation, a good wrestling weekend. Because guess what? At the end of the day, we're fans, and this is something we love. This is something that for a lot of people, I wouldn't even know you if it wasn't for this great sport, you know. And yes, I call it a sport. Sports and entertainment, but it's something that we're passionate about. Every one of us has been made fun of for liking this. Every one of us has been told, "Oh, you should find something else to do with your time." But yet, the same people, they're out there watching all these reality shows. They're watching The Walking Dead, probably watching The Walking Dead right now. But they tease us for being wrestling fans. Trust me, you heard it. I've been told that. I've been lost friends over it, but guess what? They wasn't my friends anyway. I look at what they're doing. I look at what I'm doing. They might have been champion fans of the Super Bowl, fans of the World Series, fans of the NBA Finals. Have they ever gone to one? Probably not. But I've gone to WrestleMania, and I'm going again, and I'm looking forward to catching up with each and every one of you. And you know what? Friday night. What are you doing? You got plans? Well, now you do. Because meet me and my friends at Fox Sports Radio 96.9, 1340 a.m. live at Twin Peaks, where we will be broadcasting. There will be some special guests. We'll have some wrestlers there in the building. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. So long, everybody.